Rogan had an experience he talked about with his 9-year-old child in California. I don't know if you heard about that.
I just heard about it this morning, yeah.
So there's this story. I'll read it to you. Hang on one second. So Joe Rogan reveals that woke anti-racist ideology was pushed on his 9-year-old child in California school. This is a post-millennial story. When the whole George Floyd thing happened, one of the schools that my kids were going to back in California released this email saying that it's not enough to not be racist. You now must be anti-racist. And my kid's 9 at the time. What does this even mean? Rogan asked on Tuesday's episode on the Joe Rogan Experience. These kids are not even remotely racist. Like, they have all sorts of different kinds of friends. I've never heard them discuss it once. It's just like this person, and she's nice to me, and we like to play together, and we both like the same things. And so tell a 9-year-old that you have to be anti-racist, well, then they go looking for racism. They're going to be looking to confront it. That sounds very logical and common sense to me. How do you process what Joe was saying here?
But I thought we were told they don't teach critical race theory in schools. Isn't that the meme out there? Oh, it's only these right-wingers making it up that we're teaching this stuff in schools. And yet here is Joe Rogan obviously giving you an honest assessment of what's going on there. And I don't know if you guys follow Chris Rufo by chance, but Chris Rufo is basically the leader. I believe he works at the Manhattan Institute, but he is the leader at exposing what is going on with critical race theory at all of these schools.
He was on the show with MSNBC. What's her name? Him and her went back and forth. I'm sure you saw
with that woman who's broadcasting from a mental institution, Joy Reid.
Oh, Joy Reid, yes.
You know, if you watch MSNBC and you just pretend that they're in a mental institution, it's actually quite watchable. if you watch it as a news program, it's pretty awful. But look, we know this stuff is going on, and guess who's going to fight it? It's going to be DeSantis. They'll fight it in Texas, where Joe Rogan, what did he do? He fled California and he went to Texas. The funny thing about Rogan is that Rogan was a Bernie supporter. And yet when he signed the $200 million deal with Spotify, what was the first thing he did? He got the hell out of California. It had something to do with the taxes. So we all have, like, you know, some inconsistencies in how we behave or what we talk about versus how we actually are. But this stuff is obviously going on. We almost killed racism in America. We almost, how old are you all, you guys?
43.
So we're all ballparking
42-ish,
42,
58,
50. Right. Okay. All of us grew up in a world that racism was pretty much done. Really think about 10 years ago. Was there any real mainstream racist person or racist idea that was running rampant? There really wasn't. And maybe the you of 3 years ago thought that Trump was like the racist instigator. To me, he was actually the reverse of that completely. He was
the things I thought of Trump, racist wasn't at the top of the list.
Okay, fair enough. And we don't have to bother wasting time on Trump. But the point is, who's racist in America now? It's the anti-racist. It's the people who purport to be the tolerant ones that are injecting race and gender and sexuality and all of our differences into everything. There is literally, imagine how insane this would be. Show me a Republican. Show me the craziest far-right Marjorie Taylor Greene something Republican, and tell me what racist policy she has. Does she not want black people to have go to the same water fountains or be able to get jobs? It's, you know who's instigating racism? It's the left who want COVID vaccines to be decided by race. It's the left who wants Harvard to actually have quotas to stop Asians from coming in. You know this crazy story?
We had him on. We had the young kid who wrote a book about it on.
Extraordinary.
There's a 3-year lawsuit at Yale about that.
Yeah, so remember? It's like, who actually are the racists? Who actually are the homophobes? Trust me, I'm not being hunted down here in Florida, as you just pointed out. It's like, it's completely fine. It's completely fine, but they're ushering it back in. We almost did it. We got it to this, and now they're starting to expand it again.
Well, let's not forget this all started with President Obama. Race relations in America were better under George Bush, pre-Obama, than they were Obama coming in. Trayvon Martin could have been my son. The Dallas shooting, the funeral for the Dallas police officers, there's institutional racism in the police department. Like, he ushered all this stuff back in. There were the riots in not Minneapolis, but Baltimore riots under Obama. Like, this all started with him. This all starts in the universities, and that's like you said, common sense is winning. It's not left. It's not right. It's those who want to be free and left alone. And they see things like, do you remember the San Francisco choir They said it was a
Yeah,
joke, but they
yeah,
said
yeah.
we're coming for your kids.
Yep.
Right? It's things like that people they're just done. That's why Terry.
By the way, then
McAuliffe
it turned out like 3 of those guys had been arrested for pedophilia or something. I mean, really like bananas stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awkward.
Yeah, and it's like you see Terry McAuliffe run out
You
in
think?
Virginia. People are just sick of it. They just want to be left alone. It's not left. It's not right. It's like you said, Pat. It's common sense.
Well, back to
what's interesting
Dave's point
about
about the school is that, you know what, I'm not even getting political with it. You know what a losing proposition is? Messing with someone's kids.
Yep.
Like, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're Republican, whether you're pro-capitalism, socialism, at some point, if someone starts messing with your kids, all ideology is out the freaking window, and it's like, don't mess with my freaking kids here.
Yeah, ask
And-
Terry McAuliffe.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the
That election went click, bang,
Exactly.
boom in 2 weeks.
Gene Youngkin.
Let me tell you. So I'm gonna butcher who this was. If I'm trying to find the story to kind of tell you exactly where this is coming from. So they went to this community and this, I don't know, I want to say Indian reservation, but maybe it's a different one. And they noticed one thing, that nobody in that city stuttered. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is very weird. How come nobody stutters here? And they go around there asking everybody, hey, how come nobody stutters? How come nobody stutters? How come nobody stutters? How come nobody stutters? And everybody starts saying, what stutter? She said, what do you mean, what stutter? What does the word stutter mean? "Oh, what do you mean? You really don't know what the word stutter means? No, I don't know what the word stutter means. They go look into their dictionary. The word stutter is not in their dictionary. Meaning, since they didn't know that there was such a thing as stuttering, people stopped stuttering. Nobody stuttered. The moment you put that in there, we start thinking and we start stuttering. Now, how much truth there is behind this, I haven't spent my entire life investigating this. But there's a part around it that validates a point of the power of affirmations. If you keep telling me I'm a loser, I'm eventually going to believe it. If you keep telling me I'm not going to amount to anything, I'm eventually going to believe it. If you keep telling me I'm going to do something special in my life, maybe I have the ability to use all my talents and abilities to do something big in my life, maybe I'm going to start believing it. If you start telling America we're racist, maybe a small a small percent is going to start believing it, then we are going to start being racist. If you tell us we get along and we're making progress, we're going to be like, oh, what's up, Dave? You're gay, you're getting married 40 years ago? I don't know. Today, dude, let's chill. I'm from Iran. Oh, you're from Iran? Ooh, you're from Iran. Hey, what do you have in there? Exactly. Hey, are we really going to do this in a, what do you call this place? In a bank vault, and you're going to close that? I don't trust being in a vault with an Iranian. No way. But you know what? Let's do it. Hey, an Iranian and a Jew are sitting right next to each other. Now it's like it's okay. But this whole concept of over and over and over, maybe I do have problems. Maybe America does have problems. I think that is one of the biggest problems we have. They keep repeating the same bullshit, and some are starting to believe it.
Have you ever seen that incredible? If you haven't seen it, you gotta show it to your audience. Morgan Freeman saying exactly what you just said.
Yeah, of course.
You've seen
With,
it on
with
60
Don Lemon.
Minutes. Did you do? Oh, there's one that he did with Lemon, and there's one from I think a few years before that he did on 60 Minutes with
Ed Bradley.
not Ed Bradley, the other guy,
Mike Wallace?
Mike Wallace, yeah, thank you. It's an absolutely, and that's exactly what he says. Stop talking about it. Congratulations, we'll move on. And then there's a great moment where Mike Wallace is like, well, but don't you want Black History Month? And he turns to him and he's like, don't you want White History Month? And he goes, well, actually, I'm Jewish. And he goes, well, do you want Jewish History Month? And he's like, no. Like his gut reaction
Why
was,
give it to me? Yeah, and then he says,
it's
Right.
just,
Pat, can I tell you why your point is so powerful about the
Tell me.
stuttering thing?
Yeah.
Because I have a real life case example about that. My freshman year, I played football in college, right? And the quarterback on the team, my buddy, I was a wide receiver. My buddy, he lived at the place next door. Had a horrible stutter. Okay, and his name was Tommy Waters. Would stutter like crazy. Okay, but when he would go into the huddle, all right, guys, here's the play today. Here we're going to run. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Wow.
But I hung out with him so much. And I didn't realize that I came back home to Miami for spring break or whatever it was. And my friends are like, dude, why are you stuttering?
wow.
And I was like, what are you talking about? But I hung out with him so much that I developed a stutter. And then my friends, and nobody called me out in school, at college, because it was like I was with Tommy. That was my boy. And shout out to Tommy if you're watching this. He's the best. And my friend's like, dude, you're a stutterer now? And I had to like, hold on. Yeah, I don't stutter, and I'm just gonna start talking regularly. But it's osmosis. If
Yeah.
you're around, people are like, "Oh, the people are racist.
Dude,
this is
that
what's
is
happening."
so
You're going to start
dangerous.
thinking about it.
Oh my
so
God.
your stuttering thing is a
Yeah.
very real life example of what can happen when you're crammed down your throat with critical race theory or wokeness or racism. You start to live it.
So think about that. That's you in college, right?
Yes.
Now we have all the adults going through this through the media, but now to connect this to the Rogan thing, he's talking about his 9-year-old kid.
Right.
So now a 9-year-old kid, everyone knows this. They don't care about race. They don't think about sex. They just want to play. And now you suddenly are injecting racism into their world at 9 years old. They are literally manufacturing tomorrow's racists. We had got there. We were done. Really try to think who in mainstream America in the last 20 years was truly racist, promoting racism, that really wanted
The
laws to
last
be
remnant
different.
of that was maybe David Duke.
I don't even.
Not that he was mainstream.
He wasn't mainstream.
but
I don't
people
even know
knew
if the
his
guy's
name.
alive anymore. But yeah, it was done. But now they are keep creating a situation where 9-year-olds will have the idea of race in their head when there's. Can you imagine if Joe Rogan is sending his kid to a school where racism is rampant? I mean, every school in LA, they proudly smack we're anti-racist here. And it's like, man, were you guys racist 3 years ago? What was going on over there?
If you enjoyed this short clip, click over here to watch another short clip. And if you want to watch the entire episode, the entire podcast, click here.